We are at Cowgirls Dream Ranch for Bling's 4th show, but this time I didn't do the practice first because I wanted to give the experience of just showing up at a show and not being able to practice first and do it. So the first 3 shows I let her do the practice first because it was new, and then this time we're going to see how she does with just going right into the ring doing the show. Alright, off we go here with Bling in her obstacle show for the Gambler's Choice. So our first task, the compulsory task that you have to do for this one, is do a lap around the arena holding an egg and spoon. So I'm trying to jog very carefully and not drop my spoon. And what I love is how calmly Bling is just jogging beside me. She's not trying to pull me or go too fast or anything like that. She was really polite about everything there. So we drop that off, and now through our curtain. You'll notice for the curtain there was no air mattress, and you'll see later on when I do the riding one they add in an air mattress, which was kind of interesting, something she hadn't seen before. So right through the pool noodles, and I do the little I don't even, what's that called, like a pull up thing, I don't know what it's called, sorry guys, and into the umbrella. She brings her head up just a tiny little bit there because she wasn't expecting that, but doesn't do any big spooks or anything. I remember I elected not to do any practice for this, so she is doing all of these things for the first time for this particular session. And we're still trying to do this as, I'm trying to do the best I can because she actually won the first 3 shows, and there is a year-end champion award. So I'm trying to do pretty good here and still trying to have a little bit of a circuit system going on so that way I remember where I've gone, and trying to hustle a little bit through the obstacles at the same time, going slower through them and then hustling between a little bit, which helps balance the emotional control piece. And then here's a little look at the back through. So it was 2 points, I think it was, for going forwards and 5 points for going back. And this is actually quite a narrow back through. And so even here, how she stepped out, and technically I won't get the points for this at all, because I'm training her for long term for the makeover. I still wanted to finish this back through accurately for Bling's sake. So there she steps out again by accident, and then I get her to correct herself. So overall, very willing. She didn't really kick the poles or anything like that. I just have to work on our precision a little bit for our back through. So that meant that I ended up losing some time because I spent time on an obstacle that I know we weren't going to get points for. But what's more important for this scenario is that I'm training her for the makeover, which will not be until October, but I want to make sure I practice things that she might end up facing. And look how calmly she did that little circle around. That was really, really great. I'm really happy with her and how calm that was. That was the little water splash box there. And I just love this horse's attitude. She's just got such a great brain. Her brain is she's just stellar. Some horses, you have to really work to build their confidence. Bling, she's just naturally really great. She just goes through the water, no big deal, doesn't even think, it doesn't matter. Some horses don't like getting their feet wet, like my little Mustang Arwen. And she just doesn't really care. Her only fault is that she's so big and so so leggy that she finds it hard to stand on some of the bridges and stuff. So here they're supposed to keep all 4 feet on the bridge as you move the little egg over, and which I think she ended up stepping off. Here we just have to move the ball over. You can see Bling could care less. She's just like, okay, here we go. And then we jump our bunnies, and she actually leaves them up, which makes me super happy because those things are super light and everybody was knocking them over. Now we're headed into the carousel. We just had to do a full 360. And now we're trying another pick up and carry bridge obstacle, which Bling doesn't care about at all. And I'm not entirely sure if I got the points for that because I didn't go off straight. I kind of turned to head to my next obstacle. So that could be another spot where I lost points, potentially. But I'm really happy with just how willing
she was, and this was tricky. They put these little eggs on top of the logs, which made it harder, because if you knocked off any of the eggs, you didn't get the points. So that was kind of a tricky, different thing to do. So we're doing our ball, and she doesn't care about anything. She's just kind of following me around, and she doesn't look stressed or worried, so I was really happy with that. And I loved how she was so much more careful about where to put her feet. So that was really, really great. And that was her round. So now we're going to head into her riding challenge. So this is my first time riding her in any type of competition or any type of obstacles off-site. Up until this point, the only time I've ridden her off-site was when I was in North Carolina visiting my friend down south. And I rode with her. I think I did one ride with her off-site there. And otherwise, I've just done groundwork with her off-site. So this is kind of a big deal. So we're still starting the same with the egg and spoon. So excuse the ugly posture. I'm riding with one hand. And so riding, you know, I am nearly 7 months pregnant here, and she's never seen an air mattress before. And so the combination between the air mattress and the curtain. But Bling is just such a sensible horse that I just wasn't worried about how she was going to react or what she was going to do. So I'm feeling pretty good about all of this. And most of the stuff now she's done on the ground. So the air mattress was new. They added that into the class. So technically I'm in the open class, which means that I'm riding with all of the kind of pro horses or pro riders, really. And look how good she is here. I opened the umbrella. It's literally right over top of her head. She's just like, whatever. I just love that about the nature of this horse. So I am planning to sell Bling after the makeover, because I can't keep them all. And I think she's going to be a horse that will do really well with somebody when all is said and done, because she's just got such a lovely brain about her. But this was really fun to do my first ride off site. And so here's a drag, and I did not do that in the ground challenge. And Bling's like, whatever, I don't care. Like, drag it, go for it. And my goal when I went into this riding challenge one was to try to complete every obstacle once, was my goal. Here I'm doing some other obstacles along the way just because, you know, they're on the way and we're in a competition. But instead of doing like a circuit and repeating a few things twice and trying to get as much points as possible, I thought, well, let's try to do everything once if I can, just to try to give Bling as much exposure as possible. So for this back through, for the open class, they actually made it even more narrow. So the fact that we struggled with it on the ground, and then now it's even more narrow, you can see it's like super narrow. But I'm really impressed with my horse. Like, look how good that is. The second piece there, she got that really nice. That's looking really good. And even when she started to get it wrong on the first set of pulls that we were backing between, she doesn't panic or get upset or anything, get flustered. She was able to work through it. So I'm really happy with that. Walks right through the water. Here we're trying to stand with all 4 feet on the bridge, and you're supposed to pick up these eggs and switch them, which was like ridiculously hard, but she stood really nicely for me. Even though I completely failed at the task, she was a good girl and stood for me. So I'm pretty happy with that. And now the ball from up top. So here I'm practicing our sidewaysing over to different objects, and she did that pretty nicely for me, and moving the ball over. So little things when I'm kind of watching her as we're going around, I can see like we got to work on our finesse a little bit. She's got her nose way out in the air. So she's still kind of pushing herself in a bit of a hollow stance. And that's going to come with time as I continue to work on getting her to stretch and bring her top line up a little bit. We have to really work on engaging her core. But she's not super bad. She just has to figure that out. But the time to practice that will be at home, and then as she gets better, we'll work on that in the show ring as well. Here I'm really just looking for a horse that's like willing and quiet and letting me do the things I want to do, which she's doing fantastic. She's stopping when I want to stop. She's letting me pick things up and put things down. She's just being very tolerant of all sorts of things that I'm asking her to do. And even leaving the darn bunnies up, which makes me super duper happy. that she's leaving the bunnies up. Those are really tricky little buggers. So I did the carousel to the left where I held the string and pulled it, and then I did the carousel to the right and I had Bling push it, and she did that really awesome. So I'm super happy with how she's doing that, going through the, she stumbled for the turtle there, but she didn't mean to, like, she didn't care to not do it for me. It's just that I didn't really set her up very nicely. And this is my first ever rope gait on this horse. I've never actually done a rope gait on her. I haven't had a chance to practice one at home, but we've practiced all the pieces for one. And look at that. Oh my gosh, like that's amazing. I can't get over this horse and just how sensible she is. Like she's just so trusting. She's definitely become a yes horse.
Good job.
So we're going to be taking it up to the next notch and working on her refinement. But that was her class. And I'm super duper proud of her. So we ended up getting, I think it was 4th in her ground class, 3rd in her riding class. And we got the champion overall for the year award. So I'm super proud of my baby girl. I hope you guys are proud of her too. Definitely leave a comment. Let me know what you think of Bling. And like this video. Remember to subscribe. See you later, guys.